people. So what was the first, when you walked in, Brennen, to the kid's house, and you walked in there before I actually walked into the parent's house, what was your first impressions? Because you walked in with Destiny, Kiki's daughter.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of blacked out, to be honest with you. It was weird.
You blacked out?
I didn't actually black out. I'm just saying, like, you walked in, and they didn't know that we were coming. So they're all sitting down on the couches, just kind of looking at us. And then a lot of cameras everywhere, and it was just very overwhelming. But I championed through it.
So what's cool information about this is that Brennen and I were actually the oldest. I was the oldest female in the group. It ranged from 44 to 50, and I was 50. Now I'm 51, but Brennen was 29. Now he's 30, but he was the oldest, and then Destiny I think was 27. So those two were the oldest in the group, and it went all the way down to 18 with it. So there was quite a different.
Hello.
Interesting situations and stuff like that.
Reason.
You know, but I mean, all in all, how did everybody get along generally? Like,
say it again. You froze and cut out, and then I came back in saying, how did everyone get along? What was the question?
I said, like, there was a vast age group between 18 and 29, right?
Yeah. And
there was kind of an opening there between like 24 and 27 with Destiny. So how?
Destiny.
What?
Destiny's 29 too.
Oh, she is?
Yeah,
oh.
But I was older than her.
Oh, okay, fine. I thought she was a couple years younger. All right, so you both were the same age. So tell me how that was. I mean, you guys were much older than the younger ones, like 20. They were like 18 to 24 generally, and then you guys had 5-year age difference. So how was that?
You're welcome, Destiny. It was kind of rough, to be honest. Like every kid there was awesome, really good kids, but there was just such a gap in life experience.
Yeah.
That it was really hard to relate on anything other than the fact that our parents are divorced. So I mean, they were great. I love them all, but it was definitely challenging. I didn't really fit in, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, there's like, how do you get like this is like I'm 30 and, you know, a couple 18-year-olds in there that just graduated high school. It's kind of hard to really find a lot of similarities there. But, I mean, they were all great, though.
Who did you connect the most with in the house?
Probably Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah, Brooks.
He's kind of getting a bad rap now. It's unfortunate because he's a great kid.
Yeah.
Because of the comment that he made about Trish. But he's a great kid, isn't he? I mean, everybody really loved him in the house, and it's just unfortunate editing. But yeah.
He definitely didn't make a great first impression, and they cut out a lot of the stuff. But he was hilarious. He's probably one of the funniest people that I've met. And we just really kind of clicked because he was kind of an outcast and I was kind of like the weird uncle at a high school party. So naturally formed a bond. Brooks is dope though. He actually came up and visited me a couple months ago.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish I'd have known. So, so people want to know, like, when you had to clean the bathroom for the meddling that you had for my date. They want to know if that's the only bathroom you cleaned, if they had to clean all the bathrooms, and if it was really dirty, and if anybody helped you.
No one helped me. Nope. And I had to clean. I think I cleaned all the bathrooms. I had to take the trash out of all the bathrooms, just in the top floor. So it was just that main bathroom upstairs was one that I had to like deep clean, and then I had to like spot clean the other ones.
So how long did it take you to do all that? Because I saw everybody's going in and messing up your clean work.
45 minutes to an hour. And they kept like having me like redo certain things too. So I scrubbing the same toilet 15 times. That shit was clean. It was very clean.
Kiki says, was it worth it?
No. Not. mean, like, it would have been worth it if the whole, if the Jimmy didn't come and like take away Troy and Karen and like make that really awkward. That was bad.
Yeah.
So it wasn't worth it for that. But the first part, yeah, like the fun, awkward part was worth it, but not the.
Okay, so let's go right into that date because I wanted to talk about that date and this Jimmy thing. And I had just come in, I was the last gal to come into the show, and I saw Kiki there, and immediately when I looked around, I was like, all right, this is a cool group of people. I could just tell the vibe. Everybody's just really cool. I was vibing on them. And then I saw Kiki, and I'm like, ooh, what a queen. Like, here's this woman right here. She's like, she's cool. Like, I mean, and she's like, I just got here too. And I said, right on. I said, I think this show picked like 2 alpha females to come in at the end because we just had, I don't know. We were supposed to shake up stuff. I hope we did. But immediately I went on a date with Troy, and it was the first date that Troy had, and was the first in a week, and was the first date that I had. And I did not know what to expect at all. I didn't know about Jimmy, well, I saw Jimmy when I first entered the house, but I didn't know about him. I didn't know about the modeling. I had no idea. So I sit down, and Troy was the first one that I noticed when I came into the group. And I was kind of excited to have that connection and just be able to start talking. And literally, I mean, no more, was it like maybe 8 minutes or 10 minutes at the most we were talking, and then Jimmy interrupts, and he literally sits down there for, I don't know, like it was like 10 minutes worth. You guys only see a tiny little bit of the editing, but I mean, he was there literally cleaning the table, and I'm going, what is wrong with this guy? I had no idea. I literally thought there was something wrong with him. Troy did too. We were just looking at the camera. People were like, what is going on here? And they were like, oh, I mean, they did a really great job playing it all off. But I mean, I didn't think it was that funny, and neither did Troy. We were kind of getting really irritated, and we are trying to be cool, and was trying to be sensitive to Jimmy because talking about his grandma and all this stuff. Oh, but anyway, he finally left. It was really weird. And then we look at the camera people, and we were like, what was that? And they're like, you know what? I think this COVID is really getting to him. I think he needs maybe a break. Like he was becoming deranged or something. I don't know, but we literally thought something mental was happening with him. So that was the truth. So he left, and then of course Troy was immediately taken away. I'm like, what is going on? I just want to relax here and talk to Troy. So they were gone for a while, and I was just like, okay, and I could see Karen and him over there. I'm like, what is this? This is really awkward, and I don't feel like I'm getting a fair shot. So that's pretty much how it went through the whole show for me. I really literally had my date started and they stopped within about 5-6 minutes. So I didn't really have a good chance. I kind of wish that they would have brought me in a little earlier, brought us in a little earlier before everybody got, into their own relationships. I mean, we're not 20-year-olds. We're not like The Bachelor or Bachelorette. We have, we do things a little differently, as the producers figured out and found out later that we don't work the same way. So anyway, that was my experience on that one. And later on found out that Jimmy was not insane, and we were really happy about that. But in the moment, that's how it felt. And it was really, really awkward. So what you see is very authentic there. Let's see. Aw, thanks, Trish. Trish is on there. I felt so bad for your stuff, but you rocked it. Thanks, honey. Okay, so who did the cooking at both houses?
What?
Who did the cooking at both houses? That's the question.
When I came into the house, I think PJ was the one who was doing all the cooking.
Who?
PJ?
Oh, PJ, yeah. He's the chef extraordinaire.
He's a good cook. I didn't really have to cook shit. It was like the one time I could just not have to cook anything. It was great. So I'd say, and I cooked like random things, but I didn't. I just kind of let PJ, hold on to the reins there. I don't know who was cooking at your house though.
Well, I know that you and PJ connected on food because you both love to cook and you both have amazing like cuisine. You are both really great cooks. So, yeah, our house, we only were there a week before we had to, before the show was filming. So it only literally took maybe 2 weeks and 2 days to film the entire show. So people wondering, 3 months. No, it's been 2 weeks and 2 days. And Kiki and I were, and Grant and Joel were kind of there just for a week. But the only Sunday, we had Sundays off. Every day we had to film up till midnight sometimes, get up super early. I was always the last one to get up because I couldn't handle it. It was so exhausting. But the last Sunday, Kiki and I cooked, and we literally had nothing in the fridge, and we just kind of found random things like hot dogs and, cheese and things like this, and we just kind of gathered everything. And I heard you guys, way smarter than the kids, you guys ordered whatever you want. You got it. We had no idea about this. Like, what did you guys have? Like prime rib and...
I don't remember it, but I know that we could order whatever we wanted to, and it would arrive at some point. So we were making like gumbo and steaks and grilled chicken, and I'd never seen more candy. I don't think in one place. Lots of candy, so much.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was the only night that we had to cook is Sunday. And the rest of the time there was catering, which was a hit or miss, honestly. Sometimes we couldn't eat for hours, like 8-9 hours, because we were filming. So, yeah. So this is another question. At the end of the show, it looked like Alex and Noah hooked up like they were in the bedroom that only had one bed. I thought everyone was in a bunk bedroom and there was only one room with a bed. Did Noah get kicked out of there, or were there multiple single rooms that people just didn't use?
There was 2 boom rooms, which is just kind of weird given the circumstances. The bunk bed was where they all slept for the most part, and then I think like 2 or 3 nights I slept in one of the boom rooms because the bunk bed sucked, and I wanted to. And I think it's one very small clip of me like tucking myself in the boom room.
The bunk beds were like toddler beds, right? They were super flimsy. They were small metal, like a 3-year-old bunk bed.
Yeah, they're like Toys R Us bunk beds. It wasn't great. I didn't really particularly enjoy it, but yeah.
Well, we had comfortable bunk beds. All of ours were in each, like the guys slept in one room, the girls slept in another, and ours is nice, comfortable mattresses and wood frames, so we didn't shake at all. They were pretty great.
Yeah, they look significantly better than ours.
I know you guys came over to the house at the last day, and you're like, "What? This rocks."
It was so much better than our house. That we couldn't even use because there was wasp nests in the ground, and they wouldn't take it out. So
the wasp nests in the hot tub they couldn't use because they're
the wasp in like the grout of the hot tub, and we couldn't go in.
Oh my god, that's funny. So Scott from our cast wants to know, why do you suck so bad at pool?
I kicked his ass the first time. That's a big game for a loser. I don't know what.
And we had a pool table in our house, and that was literally the only thing we could really do because we weren't allowed to have any phones, no TV, no internet, nothing. We just had to talk to each other 24 hours a day.
You had a pool table and you could drink. I had a ping pong table that was like a third of the size of a regular ping pong table, and we had cream soda.
Well, okay, so everybody doesn't know. People are thinking we had like plenty of alcohol, whatever. Actually, it's a dry houses. We are not allowed to have any alcohol at all.
Oh.
No, only when they provide it when we had parties. Like when you see the costume party, we would have 2 to 3 drinks, that's it. And then they would take all the alcohol out of the house until the next party.
Our house is a dry house.
Yours house was, yeah. It was. What?
I get to drink.
Well, anyway, so the point is that no, we could only have alcohol when they gave it to us, whenever we would have a party or whatever. So they did cut us off. Trish and I, we were bad girls. We confiscated it once or twice and hid it somewhere. We got in trouble.
Yeah, as Gigi said, down the stack.
I wish they had footage of all that, but they didn't put it in there. So, yeah, and Brennan's been in the Air Force, and he's a veteran, Air Force veteran, and he's like, I fought for our country because I can't even get a damn beer.
It was. I went into this show. I thought, like, based off of what the casting directors and all them were saying to me, it was going to be like everyone's going to be over 21 and single. I was like, oh, this is great. And you just drink by the pool, like hit them up on dates. It's not happening at all. It's like everybody's in a relationship and they're all under 20.
So I love you that much more, Brennen, because you came on here for me, and I really, really love you for doing that and spending all your time and helping me out.
You're welcome.
So let's see. What was our favorite part of the entire experience, and what was our least favorite part? So I'll have you go first.
My favorite part was actually, I've never been in a first of all, the experience in and of itself, like just being locked into a house watching your parents for 17 hours a day, was wild. But the coolest part about it, in my opinion, was every kid there was a child of divorce. And before, I have some friends whose parents are divorced, and that's about as far as it goes. You don't really talk about it, but you're locked in a bunch of people, a bunch of kids whose parents split up. And so a lot of really great conversations kind of stemmed from that. And so that was probably my favorite part. Just like a sense of camaraderie around that particular thing. Worst part about it, that was the other question, right? The worst part about it?
Yeah, what's your least favorite part?
Least favorite.
What was your favorite part?
Thank you, Tony. Least favorite part. The amount of filming and reshoots. Like people don't realize this, but we were watching you guys, the parents, 14 to 17 hours a day, like nonstop. Like we'd be up, we would stop filming some nights at 11:30 midnight, and then be up, get woken up at like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. But we wouldn't go to bed right when you stopped filming, so you'd stay up till 2, like wind down from the day. We'd get like 4 hours of sleep at night, and then start. Yeah. So that was probably the least favorite part. It's just the lack of sleep.
Yeah, I think that's one of my least favorite too, because I like to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually.
Yeah, just exactly right. Not being able to drink while I have to watch you for 17 hours a day.
I know. I found that out when we came over there. You shared that with us, and I'm like, oh my God, I would go crazy. I mean, but you did learn a lot about your mom, right? Yeah. So my favorite part of the entire experience was actually the experience in itself. I mean, just being able to understand, be like kind of part of this reality series that's a part of a groundbreaking experiment, really, with middle-aged people. It was so funny because a few years ago, I'm like, why don't they make something like middle-aged for middle-aged people, like a dating show or something like that, where there's so many people who would love something like this instead of watching The Bachelor, like 20-something-year-olds that they haven't even really lived life yet, honestly. And they haven't had kids, they haven't had a divorce, they haven't gone through life. So, you know, and lo and behold, the manifestation of me being on a show that I thought that would be, but on top of that, they included the kids, which was brilliant. So Haley Daniels and her father, Greg Daniels, who created Parks and Recreation, The Office, they came and created, like, Haley, this was Haley's idea, his daughter's idea, and to add the kids in there. So with that element, I think it was just an amazing, brilliant twist that I was just so thrilled to be a part of. And on top of that, meeting all these amazing people that they selected. I mean, they went through a lot of people to get to the cast that you see on this series. And they really, we were all very aligned on the values, and it just worked out. I mean, you know, there's some couples that coupled up, but there's others who didn't, like me, and Trish, you know, and some of us, we weren't able to find love, but like Trish had said, you know, we fell in love with the cast and the crew. And I have to tell you, I have to give a big shout out to the crew. Wow, were they amazing. We were also impressed. They were also positive. Not one single negative person in the house that was helping us. I don't know what your experience was, Brennen, but I'm assuming it was the same with the crew.
The production crew?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like my outlet to talk to people my age. So they were great. They were fantastic.
They were amazing. They were working so long, like hours a day, like, you know, 12, 13-hour, 14-hour days, and they come at 5 a.m. the next morning and be bright and cheery. They were just so happy to be there. And we were told that this was the largest amount of crew that they've had in a long time, by 240 crew members down below the hill where we were. And we didn't realize that you guys were right down the street from us in a different house. We had no idea where you guys were. They just kind of took you guys from us with no rhyme or reason. We didn't know if you were coming back or what was going on. We had no idea where you guys were. We didn't realize that you were watching us at all. We had zero inkling. And but then the last day, and I wish they showed this, because we got on this party bus. You guys see us go on the party bus, and we were literally so thrilled to get out of the house and go on a field trip somewhere. And there was a pole inside this, and then they were jamming tunes and stuff in there, and Joel was on the pole doing the twerking, and like we were going like parents gone wild on this party bus. And we just go down the street, and then all of a sudden we pull up to your house and we're like, whoa, wait a minute. We thought we were going to go downtown or something, and no, we were breaking loose, and we went over to your house, and that's when we came and we saw you guys, and we were in shock. All the TVs on the wall. It was kind of creepy, but it was pretty amazing.
There's questions coming through. I want to answer some of them. There's a few, I think.
What?
Questions that are coming through that you want to answer some of them. So I think Kiki asked one about what I learned. Like, what was one thing I learned about you? And then I think Brittany gets asked one too.
The what?
You didn't hear me? Well,
Nope.
Kiki asked and said, what was something I learned about you?
Yeah.
I know we're not like, I'm saying they're asking questions, or we're not answering them. We're just continuing to talk about other things.
Oh, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I mean, we should. They're asking.
Okay, what?
Yeah, so Kiki, I think the thing I learned about my mom, I don't think I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I learned a lot, to be honest. I know you so well already. Like I picked out every single guy. Like I knew who you were gonna go for in that order.
You did.
Like I said, Troy immediately. I mean, there's, I guess, the watching. I think that spiritual little
The shaman.
you know, watching you go through what you were going through and opening up and letting some things out. That was awesome to watch. It's probably my favorite part of the whole thing, in terms of watching you guys.
You got choked up too and learned a lot too, you said.
Huh?
You got choked up too and learned a lot too, you said.
Well, it wasn't necessarily like learning. It was more just, I was just proud of you guys. It wasn't like I was necessarily learning a whole bunch of different sides. It was more so just very proud of you guys letting these things go and letting your walls down and forgiving yourselves for, you know, your romantic pasts and what happened. And that's what it was about for me. But yeah, so Kiki, I guess I didn't really have a firm grip on who I think my mom is. But yeah, I don't think there was like one thing in particular that I necessarily learned, but yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah. Well, that, that's the thing, that when you gave me that proud rock, that I came up with that. That's not, you said that you were proud of me for being really vulnerable and doing what I said I was going to do. And I was real vulnerable and open. But, and you told me that that meant you were proud of, I should be proud of myself for that. But I took it in a different way, and, was proud of my vulnerability, of my soft side, which I don't share a lot because that's where my hurt has gone, right? So I just kind of keep that and close it up. But I really learned a lot about myself on this retreat, and I'm really happy about it. So that's a lot of what I learned on that retreat. So, okay, so let's see. How close to real time are we seeing events transpire? Is there so much more that was cut out? If so, are there some of what you thought as important elements that didn't make the final cut?
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that was cut out that I really wish they would have kept. There was so much like character development and super funny inside jokes that you could watch the beginning of, and they just became like just cool shit that happened, and funny things that they just cut out, and really embarrassing things too, and there's quite a few moments of drama. There's a lot of stuff they cut out that kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing with these editors, and so they wanted, I think, to make more light. And, I wish there was more character development so everybody could learn about each person more. But, and maybe, yeah, I agree with you, like a few other things that I know in the house that happened. I know in the girls' room that was like super, super hilarious. And I'm sure in the guys' room. I know that one time I asked Joel, because Joel is a perfumeologist, fragranceologist. He sniffs, he can tell scents and, whatever. And we go into the guys' room. My only time I'm in the guys' room, they were kind of right across the hall from us, but I never went in there. And I go in there, and he's like, I said, this smells like farts and sweat in here. And Joel's like, oh yeah, it has a high note of this and a high note of the fart and the high. They didn't even throw that in there. It was so funny.
I know. I think that it was just like, as a cast member, I was a little disappointed, but from the audience perspective, I don't think that this is so.
They didn't miss.
Yeah. But like from our perspective, there's, I feel like it was a little abbreviated.
Yeah. Grant says the funk house. That was definitely funk house. Oh my God, I had to get out of there. I was like, oh God. So I was asked, have I ever tried dating apps prior to the show? No, actually. I didn't. I haven't. I don't know. I just haven't. I mean, no, nothing bad about it. I just haven't done it. So, let's see. Everybody wants to know what happens to couples and the couples and all this stuff. And we can't say anything, unfortunately, right now, because we can't spoil. It's such a new show. We can't spoil it for the other viewers that haven't watched the show yet. So we're going to keep that secret for a while. And then we'll circle back around with everybody and kind of share all that. I'm sure, the people who are or not will come back around.
You see these comments that are coming up, right? Are they on your screen at all?
I'm sorry?
Are the comments like scrolling on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Does the cast stay in touch? Absolutely, we stay in touch every day. Every single day we're in a group text, and it's so much fun. We see each other, you know, different things like that. So we've come up with a really amazing group of phenomenal people that we've been blessed to call friends. What about you, Brennan?
Oh yeah, we have a group chat, like a text thread that we kind of like hop in and out of. But I think everyone's kind of like scattered off doing their own thing and busy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Who cleaned for both houses? Was there a maid?
No. Maid. Although Alex did a really good job of cleaning though. She was on top of that for the most part, and like they clean up after themselves, but it was pretty fucking dirty. Yeah.
Well, we had lots of great, you know, of course we're parents, so we're used to cleaning, so that was no problem for us. You know, the ladies' room when I walked in was like a tornado, but then everybody kind of cleaned it up. I was just like, whoa. Trish and Dania, they had all their clothes like spread all over the place. Hey, girls, sorry to call you out, but it's the truth. I went in there, I'm like, damn. So yeah, that was a little more organized after a while. Somebody wanted to know if I have real hair. Yes, this is my real hair. No extensions, by the way. This is real, people. There's another question about the metal mama. So I had to tell you a little backstory on this because when we were in quarantine, we had a lot of different like forms to fill out and like questionnaire about our date, about like our history, our dating history and all this. So they gathered all this information when we were in quarantine. And one of the things that they wanted us to do was come up with our own superhero idea and name. Okay. So all the superheroes that you see are all the names that we came up with on our own. So Metal Mama came up because, well, I'm a musician. I kind of like rock. And I felt like, you know, I've been pretty strong over the years. And so I felt like, you know what? I want to do something that's like strong as steel, this like badass chick, you know, like coming in and just being strong as steel and making sure I keep away all the bad juju, you know, coming around and everything. So kind of like leather and chains and like metallic lipstick and all that. So kind of just shared that with them. And then they came up with the outfit, tried it on, boom, it fit. And I came out and now my hair, besides Karen's hair, mine was the only real hair too. And it took 4 hours to do my hair. That's real hair you see, put tinsel in there. Oh my God. So what happened was everybody was at the party and I was the last one to be ready because it took half the day. And so they locked me up. The producers put me up in the laundry room, which is maybe like, I don't know, very small. And I had to sit there for 45 minutes until they let me out. So I was folding clothes. I was folding laundry. I was just organizing things. I was stretching. I was like, what? And there's cameras in there. That's something that you probably could have seen me walking at the party at the very end. So I wasn't able to explain my superhero